Cheers to you. Cheers to you. You wanna roll me? You wanna hold me? Step on the cold me. I just want to hear you say, make me think of baby. I need to hear it. Lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Lost without you. Oh, baby. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back and I'm better. What? Why is this always? There's no way, there's no way, there's no way. No, there's actually no way that this is not working right now. There's no way, there's no way, there's no way I can get back that girl. Why isn't this working? It's never working. Ah. What the ah please. Anyways, guys, I'm chillin' like a villain. Um uh I'm gonna do some homework. Um what 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 are you talking about? Sorry, I'm like reading this thing on the screen. I'm like, what do you mean choose? Like there's no choosing. There's already been chosen. Ugh. Why? Ugh. Wait. There we go. Yay! I'm back in. I did it. Wait. Oops. It's gonna work. Feel like I'm sick, not going outside, not really going anywhere. Every time I go outside, I start coughing like crazy, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Sorry. So, why not stream and do my homework en même temps, in the same time? In the same time. Huh? What? No, I got it. Oh, all of a sudden my phone camera works now, so that's why I'm looking like glossy. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. Shout out to all of you listeners on Rumble. Thank you. Wait. Roman said, extra prayer. Sorry, just broke my tib and fib this morning. Surgery tomorrow. Oh my gosh. How did you do that? Definitely praying for you, my friend. What happened? Shout out to all the listeners on Locals. By the way, if you guys want to support me and the work that I do on this show or the Karis Project, you can follow or subscribe to us on Locals, and on X. You could also subscribe to us on X, Kaysha Richardson, whatever, or follow my Substack, The Chronicles of My Heart. You can subscribe to that as a paid or free subscriber. Everything's behind paywall though. Because those are some thoughts, man. Those are some thoughts. Anyway. No, it's not as pretty. I want to show you guys what. Maybe I'll show you guys what I've been learning in like. What I've been learning in engineering graphics or math. Math is so boring. Maybe I'll like go into like. Wait, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so ribbed flange, another ribbed flange, due tomorrow. Wait. That says view all. Okay, so we have that assignment. Okay, so ribbed flange. Engineering graphics. Okay, so what are you guys doing today? What are you guys doing right now, matter of fact? There's supposed to be and I would have I would have walked to the engineering building, but y'all, I do not feel good. Last night I could not get to sleep. Like I was so nauseous. I could not sleep. I was like, why? What is going on? And then I woke up and I was like, ugh. Nausea is like the biggest betrayal ever. I don't know how to explain it, but how do we how are we supposed to log in to Bright? But Red Shelf is supposed to have. Oh, it's a temporary, and I don't think I used it in time. He said, I was injured 4 years ago, March 9, 2020, L4, L5, so I'm in a wheelchair. Well, this morning I was walking the dog, went around an off cambered turn, tipped over into baseball slide, left leg behind, my butt almost a compound fracture. Oh my gosh. I hope your surgery goes well. Are you from a Commonwealth country? Like, are you not American, Roman? Sorry, it's a random question to ask, but okay, but how do I know what my username is? Oh, okay. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. I feel so bad. Always coughing in there. Wait, okay. I should have made it. I really shouldn't have. Whatever, it's too late. You said Atlanta, Georgia? Okay, okay. Introduction to solid modeling using SolidWorks. I can't even open Solid. Okay, let me open this on my computer. Honestly, guys, I need a new computer because I, um, apparently, you cannot, do, um, you, you can't do SolidWorks on like a computer that is not Windows. And me and someone else who had a Mac tried to get the VMware to like download SolidWorks on our computer. Wouldn't even open. Like, would not even open. It was mad. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Actually, insane in the membrane. How? What? What? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's look in SolidWorks. Read now. I'm gonna have to go before class, quick on like the computer, and just like with the mouse, like click, 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 click a billion times. And SolidWorks. It's actually a cool program, but like, because like I've never. obviously used it before. I was making great strides with my physical therapist. Now feels like gotta start over. Man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That really sucks. I know what that's like because I had a car accident every year for 5 years, starting in grade 12. Was always a passenger, except one. Once I was a pedestrian. So the first one, I was a passenger in the back seat. We hit a semi truck while we were driving on vacation. Second one, my professor hit me while I was walking on the sidewalk. It was bad. With his truck. Like, how did you not see me? Third one was passenger in the back seat. Fourth one, I was passenger on the passenger side. Fifth one, I was driving, someone hit me from behind. So I was never at fault. I never had any liability, but still, the result is the same, right? The injury. And every time I was like, oh, I'm making like progress. Bam, another one. Bam, another one. Someone's like, are you sure you weren't targeted? I was like, you know what? It's a good question. It doesn't really matter because like it's over. Like it happens, right? Like it already happened. Why is this still loading? Why did my cell phone open it but not my computer? I was so desperate. I was so desperate. I tried. Professor, yeah, my professor. And you know what? The university called me into the like president's office after that and was like, "Are you going to sue us?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm alive. I'm fine. Thank you." Like, what? What do you like what? Like what? What? Yeah, but I was so desperate to try and get this connected on one of my devices, SolidWorks. I was like, there's an app for this. I could just download it on my cell phone. And I like downloaded on my cell phone. Of course, it did not open at all. Chapter 1. Okay, so we made this in class. This is pretty cool. I wish it was just turn page. Why do I have to click every time? Basic techniques. Okay, but you can't do that every time. That's not efficient. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. You have to click the next button. I get it. I get it. Can you tell I haven't like opened this? I just like went to the class and listened. Sorry, guys. So, at some point, I probably will do. Honestly, I think for like a lot of these, it's just like actually like doing this stuff. Like some of this stuff is tedious. Not everything I would say is like hard. It's just a lot to get to. It can just be like a lot to do. You said sometime I'll have to tell you about March 9th injury. All I know, God was with me that night. I feel you, man. I feel you. It happens. But yeah, lay it on me sometime, you know? Rain down on me. Rain on me. So rain down on me. Rain on me. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Kidding, but I'm not. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you say that was 50K? Oh, this is cool. See, if I could just like have SolidWorks on this computer, then it wouldn't matter that I was like stupidly sick. Wait, why is this not? I like engineering graphics because, like, obviously it has pictures. Because you obviously need pictures to like understand what's going on. It's like nice. There's like diagrams and like so this. Oh shoot! Talking about the price of workstations. Close. Mm. Uh, How come I can't see? Like, how come I'm not seeing? Donald Peters, hi. DE Health. Where do you live? I'm in Oklahoma. That's where I am. Where are you, my friend? Eh? Wait, the flange. So, like, this is the flange, by the way. That's what I'm looking at, like, on my computer. And it, like, shows, like, the tutorial leads us, like, how to make it. Is this the part that's due tomorrow? No, wait a second. The ribbed flange is due tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 5th, yeah. Huh. What a weirdo. What the heck? What a weirdo. Yeah, so this is okay. I'm just gonna have to look at these. Okay, so command menu. Yeah, I did this part. Drafting standard. So on here, like on SolidWorks, you have to actually like go in and change like the settings before you like start doing that. You have to like click the command manager, the menu bar, the heads up toolbar, the feature manager for the design tree, the task plane. There's like a reference triad. You have to change like the inches. Check the markup for the display. Change the unit system. When he was first doing it in class, I was like, why are you moving so fast? Couldn't even see what he was doing because I was sitting so far away. It's like I should low-key be sitting at the front of the class. Oh yeah, and you can change the color scheme. I wish that I wish I actually had SolidWorks on this computer, because if I had SolidWorks on this computer, I would just share screen and like show you guys as I was trying to figure it out. I'll do that eventually. Trust. And then just like try to figure it out in real time. Okay, primary precision, dimensions, grid, IPS. So then we click this thing called front plane, and then we get like a thing, and then we start like moving it, and you can like switch and like this way, and if that even makes sense. I don't know the right words to like to explain that. Yeah, this is so much like that's actually not bad. We did this one too. Like a coin, pretty much looks like a coin, which is gray or whatever the color you put. Let me see if I can show. Sorry. Share screen. And then presentation. So we did this already, which is pretty cool. We did this part, and then we did like this whole like thing, which obviously explains to you how I go about it. And then let me see it go all the way up. Okay, so let me go back. Hey, I was pretty good like scrolling down because I was like, look, he's scrolling like far and far. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. Let me stop tweaking. I don't know how much of this I'm actually allowed to show because it's low-key a textbook. So that is literally what said, I'm in Harlem, New York City. I saw your post about the art event in Brooklyn in March. I might swing by, but I'm on the fence. What class, if this for? I thought you were a chem major. No. No, I could never. Oh my gosh, I could never with chemistry. I think I like chemistry less than bio. No. I like physics the most. If I'm being honest, I like physics the most. Um yeah, if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, swing by the art event. I'm going to be a speaker um in Brooklyn, New York uh in March, and I will be a panelist uh I think on the Friday. I posted it the other day. I have it on my Instagram. Kaysha Rick. Is it Kaysha Rick or Kaish.h? One of the two. Um, yeah, I'll be there. So like if you're in New York, swing by. You said, "A nice. I was a physics and math major." Oh, wow. Nice. Nice. That's what's up. I think math is only cool with physics. I don't understand it like by itself. I'm not good at it by itself. Sorry. It's like if you're putting numbers because like the ball is moving or the car is moving and like there's a force or an energy or whatever, like that makes sense, but X and Y, and it's like why, you know? Um Regular math seems like an A and B conversation that I should see my way out of. Boom boom. Why did you choose math and physics major? What do you do, Donald? Okay, so for this. Oh, dope. The thing that it turns into. Oh, that's actually sick. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, this is definitely something to figure out. God bless the person who put this book together, engineering graphics. Because it shows pictures. Obviously, you need to, but everything makes more sense with pictures. I don't know why everything doesn't have pictures. Everything should have pictures. Okay, I think I get what I need to do. Lol, fillet is crazy term to use. That's so funny. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay, now that I understand this, how I can go for that, I need to. It's crazy to me that like books are all like everything's online because it's like why is everything online? Like why isn't it like in person, you know? I like because there's flashcards as well. Nice. This is so. Let's have a dark academia because my eyes can never. I chose it because I wanted to get a PhD in physics and be a researcher. but I decided not to. Super competitive and no pay. So I was a software engineer for like 5 years working in finance. Now I'm an entrepreneur. That's very cool. What do you do as an entrepreneur? I feel like the only like good thing to do is work for yourself. Everything else is just like a trap. If you can work for yourself, you might as well. Mm, what? This is a book that we're supposed to read. I think this is for spiritual empowerment. It's like developing the influencer within you. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. What do you mean? What are you saying right now, my friend? To have a teachable way of life. Teachable people are the best teachers. To develop people, I need to remain teachable. That means wanting to learn, paying attention, and pay attention to what I learn, desiring to share what I learn, and knowing with whom to share it. You gotta be tactful. Am I willing to be a vulnerable role model and coach? Developing people by investing in them. That investing in them doesn't mean pretending you have all the answers. It means being authentic. Yeah, that's real. Admitting what you don't know as much as what you do, and learning as much as you can from the people you're developing. Learning is a two-way street. Continuing to develop myself as I develop others brings me great joy. Real. Do the people I develop succeed? That's a good question. The ultimate goal in developing people is to help them transform their lives. Teaching may help someone's life improve. True development helps an individual's life change. This is why Christianity is such a testimony, because it actually changes the heart. Christ actually changes the heart. How can you tell if that's happened? The person you've invested in succeeds. Not only is that the greatest sign of transformation, it's the greatest reward to a leader who develops people. It's also why we were talking about the other day with the woman at the well, and why the men were so quick and eager to come back and see who it was who refined the character of this woman, because there was such a vast difference to who she was and who they knew her to be. They were like, I must know who this man is that's done this for you. Um, that change is very noticeable. How did you do? The more yeses you can answer right to the 8 questions, the better your position to develop people. If your no's outnumber your yeses, don't lose heart. Make growth your goal to set you up for future success on level 4. You won't regret it, because this is where long-term success occurs. Your commitment to developing leaders will ensure ongoing growth in the organization. And the people you lead and in your leadership impact, do whatever you can to achieve and stay on this level. 20 seconds. Where's the questions? 1 to 8. Oh, wait. I was reading the questions. My passion about my personal growth. I think that's a clear answer. Does my growth journey have credibility? Clear answer. Are people attracted to me because of my growth? Am I successful in the areas where I want to develop others? Have I crossed over the spent time/invest timeline? Do I have a teachable way of life? Am I willing to be a vulnerable role model and coach? Do the people I develop succeed? Okay, and then it goes into the pinnacle. The final level of leadership is the pinnacle. If you read the original version of this book, you may recall that I called this level personhood, but I think pinnacle is a more descriptive name. This the highest level is based on reputation. This is rarefied air. Only few people reach this level. Those who do have led well and proven their leadership over a lifetime, have invested in other leaders and raised them up to level 4, and have developed influence not only in their own organizations but beyond them. People at the pinnacle level are not only outside of their own organizations but outside their fields, their countries, and even their lifetimes. For example, Jack Welch is a level 5 leader in business. Nelson Mandela is a level 5 leader in business. Level 5. Yo, if you guys understood what's funny, you would be laughing. You would be laughing. Level 5, bro. Dabrowski. Anyway, Martin Luther King Jr. was a level 5 leader among social activists. Leonardo da Vinci was a level 5 leader in the arts and engineering. Leonardo da Vinci was an engineer. I have to look this. Aristotle was a level 5 leader in education and philosophy. Can everyone reach this level of leadership? No. Should we strive for it? Absolutely. But we shouldn't focus on it. Why? Because we can't manufacture respect in others, nor can we demand it. True, exactly. Respect must be freely given to us by others, so it is not within our control. For that reason, we should focus instead on developing influence on levels 2, 3, and 4, and work hard to sustain it day after day, year after year, decade after decade. If we do that, we've done all we can do. It's a very manly mind of thinking. As it should be. To be fair, as it should be. Is this too much dark academia? Word. I'm building a news and media company focused on combating misinformation and unlocking crowd wisdom from social networks. Funny enough, I use more exciting math in this work than I used to in my finance work. That's very cool. Curious, what was your journey to conservatism like? Were you ever a liberal? Yeah, I used to be. Honestly, it's so funny because like I just almost missed my mouth just then. I was never political before. Like I never considered myself to be this or that. I I didn't care. I didn't care. I just did what I was supposed to do, like that I thought was like decent. Um, One sec. So I'm distracted. I won't answer you correctly. Well, let me just see something here. Yeah, no, I never I never considered myself political. I never considered myself a liberal directly or conservative directly, but my actions, like I was very much in like I didn't believe in feminism, like in large the way things were done. I had some indoctrination for sure because I went to public school. And even the private Christian school I went to was like indoctrinated. But in some ways not nearly as the same as like public school, but still like I would say like I was very much in the middle. I didn't like conservatives at all. Um because like I was a minority and I thought the liberals were the party that cared about, well, I didn't really care about anyone who called themselves a liberal or like a liberal or conservative. In Canada it'd be like liberal or conservative. And in America it's like Republican or Democrat. But I was not a Democrat either. Like I thought that the Democrats were better options a lot of times than the Republicans. But in 2016, when Trump was running against Hillary, I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "There's no way. Trump needs to win." My granny was like, "He's not going to win." I was like, "He's going to win. She is not going to win." I was like, "In Jesus' name." She's like, I was like, "There's no way," because that's the like, yeah, there's no way. But um, and I didn't really so much care for Trump at all. I was just like, no, he's definitely better than she is. And all I knew was what they told us about him in mainstream media, which was lies anyway. So I didn't really know much about the guy. But I never had problems in his America until Biden came around and started doing crazy stuff. And then my life was hell in Biden's America. I've come to America like so much growing up with my family. So, but I don't know, in Canada, I didn't really I don't really call myself liberal or conservative. I just did what I wanted to do and accepted that I was doing what I wanted to do. And I was still raised a Christian, like a traditional, I guess you would say traditional conservative Christian, but like I had to go through my journey too, I guess. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's complex because it's not one straight, nothing very like rarely anything is just like one straight answer. It was like circumstantial. In certain circumstances I agreed more with conservatism, and in other circumstances I agreed more with liberalism. And in some situations I was centrist. And like the values of changed based on the circumstance, because I was looking at it more from, okay, well, what does the Bible say about this issue? Okay, well, no one group has, well, before at least. Now it's like it's very cut and dry. We're at the point with politics that everything is very cut and dry. But before it's like this party might have done this good that would line up with, a biblical value, like one singular biblical value that would be beneficial to Christian people. And this other group might, you know, have the same one or two things that they're doing that might line up with Christian biblical values that might actually protect or conserve, the same. Um, Trudeau at one point was saying that he was going to protect Christian values. I've never voted, by the way, in any election in my life, not in Canada, not in the United States. I am a voteless woman. Um, and I actually might keep it that way. I don't know. I actually might keep it that way. I don't know. I couldn't even vote when my dad was running in Canada, in Saskatchewan. They didn't give us our ballots. They sent them to our Saskatchewan house because the house is still registered in our names. Well, the house is registered in his name. My place is registered to me. And, but no, I never voted. I don't feel bad about that. I think um, whoever my husband votes for in the future, if it makes sense as a family, like that's what it used to be, anyways. Like families used to just vote like as families. That's why there was one vote, because they would decide as a family who they were going to vote for, and then the man would just vote. Also, you used to have to go to war to vote. You couldn't just be a man and vote. You had to go and serve time in the army or the military, and then you earned the right to vote. You had to serve your country or whatever. Um, and now, because of feminism, you don't have to do anything to earn anything. You understand the value of a vote a lot more if you go and fight for your country. You said so cool. Thanks for sharing. Your pro male content was how I first found you on Threads. Really appreciate how you've developed that line of thought. All makes sense. Complexity is realistic. I'll be honest. Sorry. The reason I developed that line of thought is because of being raised with God and a single father. Even when I was not very Christian, I was very anti-feminist. I couldn't stand it. Um, I hated it because I watched my dad be abused in the system, like just systematically by the government since I was a kid, and he beat them by himself. And I was like, oh, my dad's a G. He's a savage. Like, I got taken as a kid, like, for no reason by the family courts on my dad's birthday while he was at work. They just grabbed me. And then they put me in permanent ward of the Crown for like 3.5 years. He had to fight to get me back. And he did by himself. And he was only like 22 years old. He was studying to be a neurosurgeon, and he quit school so that he could make sure that I was all right. And he did. He got me back. He was one of two to get their kid out of permanent ward of the Crown. The other one was a woman, so it shows who my father is. But he's an exceptional guy and a very capable guy. And he always has been. So from the time I was small, I was like, no, men are great. Men do great things, because I could not do that. And my mom, she abandoned ship. So I was raised by a single father, my grandmother and great grandmother. So, I have the traditional values of the women from my family and my culture, but still was raised with a good father, and he was great. So why would I hate men? Like, why would I? Like, my dad showed me through experience, right, that he was a great dad. And my dad says all the time, you have to, like, for women, when you have a child, you automatically um bond with the child because it's growing inside of you, which is true. But for men, you have to earn the trust of the children. That's the first person the child learns to trust. And so the father, through experience, has to show that I am a good leader, that I deserve for you to follow me. And he has to do the same thing with his wife, to be fair. He has to earn um, the respect of a woman for her to follow him, right? And the children too. So it's actually very hard to be a good man, and it's hard to get the respect of a family. But when you acquire it, it's there for life. Like, the loyalty is there for life, because nothing will change the experience of a family with a father or a good husband. Nothing, because it's like you can't tell them what they saw or what they experienced is just not true. That's not realistic. Like, every single thing that the way that they operate is going to be consistent because who they were was who they were. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, anyone could tell me whatever they want to tell me about my dad, and I just laugh in their face because I'm like, you lack so much insight because the ideology you try to push to me, oops, the ideology, the ideology you're trying to like push to me, you can't replicate it, that idea in another circumstance. And sin is addiction, right? Sin is an addiction, whether it's gluttony, whether it's lust, whether it's lying, stealing, murdering, whatever, raping, whatever the case may be, it's all addiction. Um, and it runs through the same cycles. So if someone is struggling with a sin, it's going to run through the same cycles. And the mindset, because error doesn't sanctify, the mindset will follow you regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the situation. So you will out yourself because you will follow your natural tendency. So when someone tells me something that my father's done or that he's doing, that's blatantly not true, right? Obviously, there's just no evidence for that. You can challenge it against other circumstances with similar principles or a variant of principles because the idea will always replicate itself. It's consistent. And addicts, more than not, are more predictable than someone who follows principle because someone who follows principle is going to go based on the circumstances because they're assessing based on their insights, right? And their morals and their ethics and their values. Whereas an addict is going to be predictable because they're always going to fall to the same thing. It's like putting crack in front of a crackhead. It doesn't matter what the background or the scenery or the display or the circumstance or situation might be. If you put crack in front of a crackhead, they're going to smoke it, right? Or sugar in front of a sugar addict, or cigarettes in front of, or alcohol in front of a alcoholic. So this is why experiential understanding and relationability is important with fathers and husbands to their wives and fathers to their children, because those ideologies, those principles and values can be consistently challenged across the board in a variant of all situations, and you will always be able to come to a conclusion. And based on the knowledge and information the other person is giving and the circumstances in coordination with the principles and ideologies that, say, like my father follows, I'll know if they're lying or not. People have come to me and said to me that my dad, for example, someone said, "Oh, your dad said this." And I instantly, like, I just closed it. And I was like, okay, all right. Because first of all, my dad doesn't even use that type of speech. That's not even how he speaks linguistically. So I was like, this is already impossible. But I let it continue and continue and continue. And then as it went on and went on, I was like, okay, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. It's like you have to challenge things against what the natural tendency of somebody is and what you know it to be, because you can always trust someone to be themselves. My dad tells me this all the time. Kaysha, you don't trust people, you trust who they are. Trust them to be themselves. That's it. Because humans are flawed, they make mistakes. So account for the potential mistakes. So I know who my father is. I know where his natural tendencies and mistakes are. I've accounted for those, just like I've accounted for mine. And everyone makes like mistakes. There's things that I miss of myself. Everybody does. I'm not saying that we're perfect individuals, not at all. We make mistakes all the time. I'm talking about just how you're able to make that recognition of mistakes with people is by watching these certain tendencies, watching these principles, watching these ideologies compare and contrast. Does the person have addictive behavior? You know, if someone's a thief, you're not going to leave out expensive things when they come over. You might be friends with them, but it is what it is. I mean, you don't sugarcoat it. If someone's a thief, they're a thief, you know? You accept the fact that they're a thief and move on. It's like you don't try to make it something it's not to make someone feel better. It's like it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know. I think that for me, I am like the reason why I went into all that is because I'm saying this is kind of what children and women need to learn when they're with a man so that they can grow that trust. They can see, okay, well, I understand like through this that this is a person that can lead me to do things. Like this person is helping me grow. This is how this person is helping me grow. Even just the fact that I've explained this to you, it's like even a good father is gonna gonna want you to grow and learn these things and make these assessments for yourself, because they're gonna want you to be able to avoid problems, have prevention as opposed to cure. And they're gonna want you to be the best version of yourself and be able to compare and contrast these ideas and challenge them against yourself in a variety of circumstances, regardless of who or what you're dealing with, when, where, why, or how, whatever. And so that ability to grow, just like we were reading about in the book just moments ago, the definition for the definition of leadership, we're talking about like being passionate about your personal growth and the journey. Does your journey have credibility? Being passionate about it. Okay, great. That feel you really want it to happen, but it's like, do you have the credibility? Have you actually made the change? Were you able to make the connection of problem to solution? Were you able to have the insight to know where the problem began and where it ends and how to mitigate it? Are people going to be attracted to that growth? Are they going to be able to see that growth, like the woman at the well when she went away and instantly started telling the word of God? And then they went and said, I must know who's done this for you, because they were so taken aback by her change that they were like, I must know, because this woman is completely different to the woman that we know her to be. I must know who's done this for you. And then, are you successful in areas where you want to develop others? It's literally what fathers are doing, right? With their children and with their wives. That creation of circumstances and the people around them's ability to recognize that is their success in their ability to develop others. Now, crossing over the spend time in the investment line, well, it's a whole different thing. And then, do they have a teachable way of life? That person will also grow. The father will also grow by his interaction with his child and his wife, because they themselves are teaching him how he's supposed to lead in his everyday life. This is what he tells me, by the way. I'm not telling men how to operate as men. This is what he tells me, and I'm regurgitating it back. Well, applying it right to this circumstance. And then being, number 7, am I willing to be a vulnerable role model and coach? Fathers have to be vulnerable role models and coaches. They have to be authentic. They have to be genuine. People, like, it doesn't mean that you're um, like it says, it doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you're pretending to be a know-it-all. It's the fact that you're just authentic and genuine enough with someone to be real about the situation and be understanding, like, okay, this is what it is, this is what it needs, this is what I have, this is what I don't have. How can we come to that like solution or that understanding or whatever together? And then do the people I develop succeed? And that's definitely what fathers do. So when the children and the wives become more successful in what they're implementing through the teachings that he's giving them, the same way that God does with us, because he's that example, then you actually create the circumstances for the development of that success. And they will see that. The children and the wives will see that because they will start to notice they're getting better, whether it will be whatever the problem is that needs to be solved, whether it's be work, school, spiritual, mental, emotional, whatever, whatever a father's helping you with, finance, whatever a case may be, it's going to improve and they're going to notice right away. And they're going to notice that it's becoming easier for them to deal with, not that because the burden is lighter, it's because they're learning how to carry the load. It's like you don't bend over when you pick up a box. You're not supposed to like bend your back over like straight forward. You're actually supposed to squat your knees and keep your back, leveled like straight, and then grab a box from like the bottom, right? And then pick it up that way, lift from your knees instead of lifting from your back, right? So it's about the application, and fathers teach that application. So through experience, I learned that yes, there is value in fathers, and that's why I was never against fathers growing up. I'm not against mothers either. I'm a firm believer that you need a mother and a father, and I very much want to be one day by the grace of God. Um, but I know from experience that fathers have been absolutely destroyed for for a long time, for not even just decades, centuries. Like this has been a long game, this slow methodical chess match, and it's for the purpose of destroying our society because predatory, sick, weak men want to go through women instead of bucking up to the men face to face because they can't. They can't. This is the devil's tactics. He's a predator through and through. He said, "You're a realist and your moral fiber runs deep. It's so rare to hear a young woman or man articulate the irreplaceable value in fathers. Gives me hope. Also, your notes on addiction are highly. I learned all by my father. So, by the grace of God and my father alone. Thank you. Thank you kindly." Yeah, it's true. All things are addiction. All things are vanity. All things are addiction. This is why, like, even when I will eat something that I don't particularly need to eat, I will get frustrated. Not because I'm like, oh, okay, sure, you're gonna get fat. I could care less. I go exercise and like I'll be fine. Like, let's be so for real. But when it comes down to the character development, it's like I don't like giving into things that are not necessary. Because for me, in my mind, all things lead to Rome, whether it's today or tomorrow. Eventually, it gets there, right? And that's true. That's true. And by the time you realize, a lot of times, like it's too late. This is my sociology book. Keep calm and understand society. I'm a little bit behind. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm doing what I can. Like there's like a little writing thing that you have to do like every time. We didn't have class today. I went all the way to class. We didn't even have class. I was like, anyways, if you ever want to collab with social media, you said you're doing social media stuff, Donald. Hit me up on X to collab with. So, I think you would be a good conversation. Like, I think we would enjoy conversation. Said, lol, I'm directly with done. You know what? Thank you. That makes me smile. Like, obviously, you can see that makes me smile. That makes me really happy. Because you know what? I hear men say this all the time, and it's crazy because women don't think like this. It's men, and then randomly they'll be like, your father is amazing. Like, I can tell your father is an amazing guy. A lot of times when people compliment me, I'm like, okay, by the grace of God and my father alone, thank you. But like, I don't mention like him outside of that. I can tell your father is an amazing guy and he's really smart and all these things. And I'm like, how did you decipher this information? But my dad's like, men read circumstances and they know based on what I'm saying that a man told me because they know that women don't think or operate this way. And so they're gathering information about him by speaking to me. Women get screwed over because a lot of times when men are approaching them that they don't know are bad, the man is using her to get information about other men or other people around her so that he can carry out whatever his plan is. And I'm like, ah, no. Like, how is that even a thing? But like, you know, there's obviously the people that are just like literally just appreciating that my dad is great, but men read the circumstance. They can read actions of people who are not even in front of their face. Women can't do that. Not like that. Not like that. So it's fascinating to me when I hear men say stuff like that. And you literally said it word for word, bar for bar. So like I had to like run that just now. So that's really funny. Thank you. I really appreciate that because, you know, my dad deserves the honor and the praise for all the hard work and exceptionality that he's done throughout his life. The man deserves peace. My father, good Lord. I pray he shall have it soon. I mean, peace in Christ Jesus, of course, but, you know, he works very hard. Try to assess how positivistic you are. Are we just find solutions to all of its major problems? Why or why not? Ooh, this again. I mean, I don't think so. I don't have great hope for this is my homework, by the way, so I guess like we're working through this together. I don't have great hope for um or confidence that humanity will find solutions to all of its major problems. No, because you can only do that through Christ. And we can see every day that people are failing to do this because they're afraid, for one, and they don't want to change. They don't want to do something that's hard because it means they have to work for it and they can't stand that. People want to work for like what's easy. Like being a stripper instead of a missionary or helping the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed. By the way, my ears are not actually pierced. If anybody wants earrings, we're selling them. It's like these cute contraptions. It's like this cute contraption. Like you can adjust it, but it's this one's fake, but it has the real one at the bottom. So you can like go back and forth. But I have no piercings anywhere on my body, so and I've never like so I like there's no point in me getting like real ones. I'll just the point is we sell clip-ons and real ones at the same time. There are people in society that make society a whole bunch better, like a whole lot easier, because they do a lot of hard work. But everything is equal parts of the whole, and all parts make up the sum. So it's like you can't have only like a third, or, you know, it's like people get worn out and they die unalive, like, because it's just too much work and they're not getting the help that they need, which is actually diabolical. It's the 5th today, 2025. Gotta get used to writing that. I wrote the date where I was supposed to write my name. Oops. I have faith that things will get better under this administration because it will give good people the opportunity to thrive in their good works, that the hard work that they're putting in, not necessarily good work, the hard work that they're producing every single day will cause results, and they'll have less pushback, which will mean that there will be less major problems. But to solve all of it, impossible, because the Bible says there will be sin until the end. We can't get rid of everything, but we can do a lot. This is the thing about sociology, it's circumstantial. It's based on the environment, which I think actually I like better than psychology. I used to think I like psychology. I don't think I do actually. I don't like the mind games and everything that these people play. Psychology is more nature. You were born this way, and this is genetic or hereditary, whatever. Sociology is this is nurture. You were made this way through your environment and the circumstances or the stresses that you were raised under, or the good, you know, like favor that you were raised with or whatever. And that created you how you were. Psychology does bring aspects of nature and nurture together, but a lot of what they purport today is mental. It's all like psychological, it's all like hereditary, it's all like biological. Like there you can't change anything, like you are who you are. It's a very hopeless and mundane existence. Whereas sociology says, okay, this is your circumstances, it created you, but a different circumstance might actually improve you. What is that circumstance? However, they do kind of both sometimes stop at the solution part because they're identifying the psychological problem and the sociological problem, and they love to go in these whirlwinds and like these deep seated rabbit holes of problems, and it's like, okay, where's the solution? Can we go there? Can we take the next step? Like, you have all of this plethora of information, can we take the next step and solve it? Okay. Spoke to sorry, someone the other day who's a sociologist and said he's a feminist. And he was like, feminism, it might not be the best structure, but unless you have a better structure to replace it with, you can't just tear it down. It's like, says who? Says who? If something's an immediate threat, you get rid of it. You're not going to say, like, this person has a gun to my face. I don't have a long term solution, so I'm not going to prevent him from going any further in this action. That's pretty much what feminism is. It's an immediate threat that doesn't look like it, even though a gun is obviously looks like an immediate threat, but you get the point. And maybe that's not the best example, but hey, I'm sick. Have mercy. Have some grace with me, okay? Um, but there is a replacement for feminism, God. Because you don't need to be a feminist when you have God, because God covers all of the issues. Christianity covers all of the issues. Every principle is laid out clearly in the Bible of what God wants us to do. So we don't need to do all of those other additives. And I've always felt that way. I try to say thought and felt like that way. I've always thought that way from the jump. You do not need all these extra movements. What does God say? What should we do about it? How should we approach it? Women are valuable. Women are of the utmost importance. We need them for children, for nurture, for love, for helpmeet, for so much. The details. Women are exceptional at details and communication, you know? Children need women. Children need fathers, but you know what I'm saying? Like, fathers create the structure and the logic and the discipline. Mothers are the helpmeet, the support, the nurture. I won't say just love because fathers give a lot of love and mothers give a lot of love. But being able to birth children, my dad says most important job on the planet is being a mother. One day I will be a mechanical engineer like my dad. And yet I will be a mother and a wife first. Yeah. Yeah. That will be my pride and glory, being a mother to children and a wife to a husband, because those jobs are the most important job a woman can do. That makes her valuable. That shows respect to her and her capability. No one else, men cannot give birth. Men cannot do what women can do. Women cannot do what men can do. It's like men don't feel bad that they can't give birth. The only one that feels bad about that is predators who try to screw women over or steal their valor. Like, let's be so for real right now. Honestly. And I used to be androgynous. I used to be a part of that trans agenda. I wanted to get the surgery. My dad was like, nope, not you, sorry. Not in my house. And I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You don't know me. No, he knew me. I didn't know. Sorry. And he prayed with me, blah, blah, blah. A lot of you who followed me for a long time, you know the story already. But you said a better structure is the one indigenous communities have lived with for thousands of years. The divine relationship between men and women cultivated the first civilizations. Except indigenous people, a lot of them are matriarchal. And the matriarchal society has, in large part, killed us. A lot of the men in native tribes um, complain about this because men need to be men. I'm a Christian first and foremost, and men need to be men. And I don't care. I've always been a Christian first. I don't care. Like, I am native, and I value being native. Except I follow what God says is right. And as a woman, I know it's evil to make women lead because I've been through. Why would I? Oh, why is it doing that? As a woman, why would I want to why would I want to lead? Why would I want to be in charge? Do you know how exhausting it is on women? I think it's the most abusive thing you can do to a woman, to put her in a position to lead where she's not supposed to as a woman. Like in men's spaces. I think that is so evil. Like genuinely evil. Like it's not fair. She can't compete. She can't keep up. Like I don't even want to think about it. It makes my head hurt. It makes me tired just thinking about it. Said interesting point. I guess I'm thinking of ancient Egypt, my favorite society. I don't care if it's ancient, if it's recent, if it's AD or BC. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, my friend. And he will be God now and forever. And men will be men now and forever. And that biology will never change. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And men need to be men because we have seen through experience again that women running society doesn't work. And every single time it's attempted, very, very bad things happen because a lot of things that men can mitigate as men, like treason, which is a slow, methodical chess match that happens over years, decades, centuries, and they can catch these things and plot them in advance. Women don't think that way. And in fact, every single time we explain these things to women, they don't see it until it hits them in their face. And then they get angry, they feel bad because it hurts their feelings, and then they double down. Sorry, they double down to cover up how they feel. Or they just discard it until they get a consequence. That is not prevention. Men are supposed to take steps that prevent this from happening. They're supposed to see the circumstances well in advance. Someone said the other day, oh, you know, your people have said to me, oh, your dad, maybe he's a prophet. Maybe he has the gift of prophecy because, a lot of Christians talk about having the gifts of the Spirit. I said, my dad is a man. My father is a man. And men create circumstances and have the insight to mitigate the same. What if he's just being a man, the way God created him to be? And I'm a Christian. I believe in spiritual gifts. I'm just saying, to me, it seems more so that he is just quite literally being a man. He is assessing things like a man. He is a tactician and a strategist. An exceptional tactician, general, strategist, all of it. And most men should be. It's how you protect your family. You see danger coming from a mile away and you're like, absolutely not. And for women to sit down and try to convince themselves that they do is mad. Because when would you ever need that skill when you're dealing with children who you need to react to immediately? Women are very reactionary emotionally because children need immediate reaction, emotional reaction. And you might be dealing with multiple children and they might all have different emotional needs. You have to switch up like a chameleon between them and react to make them feel that bond that you have with each of them personally. Women are meant to do kind of that code switch, if you will. Excuse me, sorry. And react between and be quick with their solutions with kids. Right? But you don't need to see something coming from a mile away and seeing that your kid might fall down the steps if they keep doing something. That's a pretty good prediction. It's a good assertion. It's not the same as a man predicting treason or war. And years ago, 4 years ago, when me and my dad were talking about this with people, we were telling them, yeah, this is treasonous, this is bioweapons, this is terrorism, this is crimes of aggression, all of this, and this is how it's happening, this is why. Oh, no, this doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. The men always understood. The men always understood. The women, oh, no, I don't, it doesn't make sense. And then when it hit them, bam, in front of their face, and it was like too late, and they had already accumulated so much mistakes, they were like, oh, then they felt bad and didn't want to deal with it because they had intentionally gone and done too many mistakes. So this is why men just need to be men and women need to be women. Women need to be women, men need to be men. For 300,000 years, men have had to protect the tribe. This involves predicting the future. You have to know where animals will migrate, when weather patterns will emerge, what will come out of the bush. Men need to know So this is why men are hyper analytical. Yeah, men are hyper analytical. Said, is everyone in the world broken? Why would you say that? Pulse Reloaded. Why do you think everyone in the world is broken? If I portray it that way, then I'm sorry, but I don't think everyone in the world is broken. I think everyone has things that they can work on, but to say everybody is broken is like, that is a more like definitive, defining like statement. That's more like ending, if anything. Like, that's more final. Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't say that. And I very much appreciate the fact that men are hyper analytical because when I speak to men that are like hyper analytical or that like they're really smart or just they're it's not even like IQ. This is just how men operate. Like just men being men. I really really appreciate it. It is so refreshing just talking to men who are operating as men because they're so like solutions based and they're so like you just don't have to think very much unless you want to. I sent me this cute photo. It looks so cute. um ooh. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Ugh. Oh, oh, I have an appointment, guys. Mm, Side note, having kids must be the coolest thing ever because it's like a little version of you. I just saw someone like post something saying happy birthday to my little human. And I'm like, that must be like the sweetest thing ever. It's you're literally like a little human of someone else. And you have like a little human. Like I was looking at like myself the other day and I made like this face and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I look so much like my mom." And that's not a bad thing. My mom is beautiful. But I was like, "Oh wow." I look so much like my mom. Like, some faces you do, you're like, "Oh, I look just like my mom or I look just like my dad." And then it's like, "Oh, like one day I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you look just like me. You're like a little person of me, like a mini me." And then you're going to see like all of their behaviors and be like, "Oh my goodness, you are literally me or you're literally your dad." But I think when I have kids, I want them to like look like their dad or like I don't know, be like their dad a lot, because then I can be like, oh my gosh, you're just like your dad. But like in a very positive way. Like you just feel like you'll just love them more because they replicate your spouse or whatever. Like you see your spouse in them. Obviously you love them if they're like you too, but like you know what I mean? It's just like it would probably just be cool to see, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, kids. Someone told me today, you said, objectively speaking, I'm a good looking dude. I'm not a creep. And I adhere to God's law, statutes, and commandments, which is probably why I'm single. I think people who adhere to that, I'm not going to lie, they do have a harder time finding somebody sometimes because you're not going to do like the same things that like most people want you to do. Most people like party a lot. As a Christian, I don't. Like, even at school, we had to sign like an honor code saying that we're not going to curse, um we're not going to drink, we're not going to smoke, we're not going to have like sex outside of marriage. um any type of sex. It even clarified any type of sex, even homosexual, which I'm not going to lie, me and some of the kids were just looking there, we're like, is it not clear like that you so anyways. And if you don't follow the rules, I think you get like kicked out of school or something. But I mean, like, as a Christian, we don't want to do that anyway. Um, and not a lot of people like follow Christianity as the way that it should be. And I'm, again, not a perfect person at all. It's just there's things that I'm not going to budge on because I don't want to open myself up to something that's not going to be good for me and my salvation and for the relationship that I'm building with someone. And I just think that is just like, I think that's fair. I think that makes sense. And if it's something also my father advised me is not good for me, I'm not going to do it. I just like, I'm not going to budge on that. Like, if you can convince my dad that something is good for me, then sure, and then I will do it. If you cannot convince him that it's good for me, then I'm not going to do it because he's not going to advise me to do something that's not good. And why should I trust your word over his when I don't know you? Like, I don't know you, or like maybe I've never met you, or you could be an op. Like, I don't know. Um, but regardless of that, despite the fact that you're good looking, you said you're not a creep, and you adhere to God's laws and statutes and commandments, you can still find someone who is a respectable um, Christian girl who cares about those values. There's plenty of them. I am one. There's another girl that I met that, well, there's another girl here that I know that I've made friends with. Obviously, she's married, but, and she has kids. There's another girl, she's also married, but her and the guy got together. He was a fugitive on the run. He was a J6 fugitive on the run for 4 years. And he was pardoned by Trump. But on the third date, he told her that he was a fugitive and all these things. And she stayed with him, and she's with him. You know? So you just, I can't tell a man how to find a good woman. Ask my father. DJS Richardson on X. He'll tell you. I don't know. All I know is that they exist because I exist. And if I exist, then there's surely so many more. And there are. Like the guys, I think a lot of good people, good men and women, are just being suppressed. That's all. So they can't really find each other. But we have the, age of technology now where so many people are meeting their spouses on X or Instagram. You said finding a good girl is harder than you think. Well, Roman, that might be true, and I agree, because equally finding a good guy is hard. But the thing is about men, there's a lot more leeway when it comes to women because you create circumstances, women do not. So the things that you think are failures, you actually can create the circumstances to fix them, and that's what men do, whereas women cannot create an environment of circumstances around a man to fix the issues that she's seeing because she doesn't know how to help a man be a man. Whereas men set kind of like positive or negative traps that will, people will hit the checkpoints, and as they hit the checkpoints they become closer and closer to the positive or end negative end result, and they either become more positive or negative in their outcomes or whatever. So men being leaders makes it a lot more lenient that way because you can literally create a lot of the circumstances you want to see with the people that you're around, depending on the natural tendencies and principles and ideologies they already hold. And if they have those similar values, then you can literally work with those and it will be kind of seamless that way. But I would say if you want a good girl, me being a female, um, find a girl who loves and respects her father. And this is what the Bible actually teaches us as well. And courtship should be done through the father. Like, you can be talking to a girl and want to know her, but if you think that, she's of value, then talk to the father, and that will give you a good gauge of what's going on. A lot of men are pansies. I don't understand it. I couldn't understand not wanting to meet the parent of someone. How are men today wanting access to women without consulting the father and being like, I'm interested in your daughter. Can I court her? Why are you wasting someone's time? Like, why are you disrespecting her and her family? Once upon a time, you get killed for stuff like that because it would cause people to lose financial assets and social status. And it still does today. It does all that and there's no consequence, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Sorry. But the point is, as well, a lot of men will learn a lot about the daughter by speaking to the father because men are men and they understand men. And it's actually easier for a man to tell another man, this is the problems you can expect from my daughter, but this is what I do to fix them, and blah, blah, blah. That works. Moses spoke to his wife's father, Zipporah's father, for advice. The Bible documents this. And there always was that relationship between the parents and the married children because the parents are still to be a good guidance to them. So a woman generally who has a good relationship with her father, you can expect that she's going to know how to cooperate with you and how to respect you, how to love you, how to speak to you, how to treat you. She's going to want to do these things. She's going to want to be loving and kind and compassionate and soft with you. That's because she learned that from her father. And then what she doesn't know how to fix, or what you might not know how to fix, you can literally go to the father and be like, I'm having this issue. I literally just need help. It is nothing, no disrespect or nothing. Like, I don't know how men speak to each other, but like, this is what's going on. And a man is not going to lie to another man about something like that because it's like, you're going to know. You're going to know. Like, the circumstances at hand, you're going to know. Like, and you can't save face from something like that. The way men operate with respect is completely different. So it's like, it's not even reasonable to think. So I think if we went back to traditional courtship, we wouldn't even be dealing with this because there would be so many different checkpoints or barriers that you would have to go through that there would be so much less nonsense and tomfoolery. People would have to be serious or not. And for me, it's like a lot of women, the reason why they're not serious is because Men don't go to their fathers and they don't know how to assess actions the same way that men do. So they don't trust it the same way. But for me too, like if a man went to my father and my dad was like, yeah, this is like a decent guy or whatever, then if I liked him, then I'd be like, okay, I trust you now and I can, let my guard down. But everyone is an op until they're not. Like, unless my dad says you're not an op, you're an op. Like, you're an opposition. And a lot of girls think that way about men. They'll like them, but they'll secretly think that they're an op and they'll operate a certain way out of fear because they don't know how to test. And they'll do a lot of tests that the man can definitely see is tests, but he'll read it differently because he'll be reading the action and she will be thinking of the intention, and it causes a problem also because she's thinking of the negative and doesn't know how to create the circumstances to bring about the positive outcome she wants to see or the desires that she has in her heart, or is too afraid to like admit, and she doesn't want to come out directly and say it because then she'll play her hand and it's completely foolish. So because he's going to mitigate all those things, he's going to relieve all of those worries or cares or whatever, and explain to her like, hey, like, I will kill me. Like, that sounds ridiculous. And I was talking to Arnetto about that the other night when we were on a space with him and my dad, and my dad will be like, no, Kaysha, that's, you're literally overreacting. It's like, that's trauma and you need to stop. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, Kaysha, literally no one cares. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have nothing to worry about. Good. And then yeah, it's just it's a much more peaceful thing. But as a man, you create those circumstances yourself. So it's like for me, I can just ask my father like, hey, what's going on? But for a man, you have to go to another man, which I think like if you have as a man can't do that, it's like I would never trust you, because if you can't respect my father, I'm sure you will kill me, either indirectly or directly, doesn't matter. Like, for sure, especially if you'll disrespect him to my face. Bye. Bye immediately. I don't care how much I like you. I don't care how much I'm invested to you. I'm a very objective and pragmatic person. Extremely pragmatic. I could love something if my father tells me it is no good, or like it's dangerous, or like if I see the disrespect, I'm like, bye, 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 Felicia, bye. Like, I never knew you. Flee from me as far as the east is from the west. I never knew you. What about a prenup? Would I sign a prenup? I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I think that if someone asked me to sign a prenup, they'd probably hate me, because I'm like, I will literally never leave you. Like, I'm not the kind of person to leave somebody. Like, I just know myself. And I know a lot of people say that, but like my actions show that. I'm an exceptionally loyal person, and the way that I have worked with my father over the years demonstrates that as well, based again on experience in value and earned trust, not just blind, like earned trust. Because again, fathers have to get their children to learn that first, whereas it's natural with mothers. So if a man asked me to sign a prenup, I just look at him and be like, why? Like, where am I going? Like, do you think that we're going to break up? Like, do you think that we're going to divorce? Like, why would you marry me if you think we're going to divorce? I think if you sign a prenup, you're putting yourself in the position like you have a contingency plan. Even if I don't want anything, like, I would never take anything anyway. So it's like, I would not need a prenup. I don't care if we have children or not. He could give the children whatever he wants, but I would not personally take from him. I would not personally ask of him. Because I was raised that if you go into something in a marriage and you end up having to leave, then you leave with what you came in with, which is nothing. And I don't care. Give me the signature and I'll go. It's fine. But I would think that someone was going into something like just expecting to break up, and then I would feel really sad. It's like, what am I going to do with your money anyways? Like, what the hell am I going to do with your, like, people are so obsessed with money. Like, and I think it's people who grew up poor who are obsessed with money, to be fair. Like, no disrespect to people who are poor, because I have been on and off the street for the last 4.5 years and like in prison and all sorts of stuff. Like, I understand what it's like to be poor, but I grew up so well that I still don't care about money. Like, it doesn't move me. So it's like people doing all this stuff. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't want to marry the person because it's like I would feel like they're gonna leave me. If you ask me to sign a prenup, I'd feel like you're gonna leave me because you're preparing for it. I don't know. Like, I don't think there should be a contingency plan to leave somebody because then you're gonna leave. I don't know. I don't like that. It's like I just don't have to take anything from you. I think you should trust somebody enough. If you can't trust somebody enough, it means that you shouldn't marry them. Why are you marrying someone who you think doesn't have the integrity to act like coherently if anything did go sideways? I'm not marrying somebody for like, I feel like you're you you don't even trust your own insight at that point if you are asking someone to sign a prenup. You don't trust the person you're marrying if you ask them to sign a prenup. Like, I don't know. I just think that's weird. I don't know. I don't have money, but even if I did, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Someone would have to, like, I don't know. Maybe if someone explained to me, I don't know. My father told me before, like, why would you even marry someone who you don't trust? Like, that way. And men, like, they don't want to take risk, but I mean, like, wouldn't I be taking a risk as a poor person, like, and having kids with you and then being left with nothing? I'm not taking anything from you, but I would be left with, like, the kids and nothing. Anyways, regardless, I'm left with nothing. Either I sign the prenup and I'm left with nothing, or I just choose to be left with nothing. Either way, why would I leave you? It's like either I sign my my destruction away on the dotted line, or I just choose the destruction on the, like, on the dotted line. Like the outcome is the same. I lose regardless. So it's like, why would I just don't marry someone that you think you're gonna leave? I don't know. I think that the Bible doesn't say to sign prenups. I don't know. Oh shoot. So hello, I can only stay for a few minutes, but I'm dropping in to say hello. Hi Ben. I don't remember, where are you from, Ben? Oh. You're the You're from Florida. Okay. You said also I'm not the Brummy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not the Brummy. That's okay. Florida. Florida's nice, I hear. How are you doing today, Ben? Stereo sound straight. No, in my little dark age. Just finished mirroring with a private student. What does that mean? Meeting, like tutoring. Apparently, I cannot spell right now. Can't spell. Yeah, still having some trouble, but that's okay. Oh my gosh. I guess that means I'm a little bit pessimistic about society. But I don't think that's pessimism. I think that's just being real. I think it's just being honest. I think it's ridiculous when people have like uh like an overly positive view. I feel like it's delusional. Like there's some things that are positive, but it's like be so for real right now, please. Like that's like something's not going good. It's not going good. Or like it there are things that are going good, but it's like it's not enough. Like it's not creating the change that you're looking for. It's like, okay, we're not looking for the change that you need. Yes, tutoring. My linguistic skills in this chat make that so reassuring, don't they? It's okay. I was supposed to have tutoring, but I'm sick. So I will not make it to my tutoring session. Thanks, Ben. Why do I feel like okay? What class were you tutoring, Ben? uh Coming to what? Tutoring fractions and geometry. Maybe you could tutor me, Ben. I need tutoring with fractions and geometry. Sorry. You know what? Gosh, sorry. The question about being pessimist or positivistic, the fact that I thought it said pessimistic is so funny. But the question of itself about like society and asking like, will we fix all of our major problems in society? And the answer is very clearly no, because in Isaiah we read today that a society becomes a whoring and a backsliding nation when they do not help. It says, judge the fatherless, mind the oppressed, and something else. So, pretty much, if they don't help the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed, they become a whoring and backsliding nation and they need to repent, and God will punish them. So, because no one wants to do this anymore, we're not going to fix all of our societal issues because no one wants to do the work to do that because it's self-sacrificing and there's not as much benefit as being a whoring and backsliding nation. There's a lot more return on investment initially doing the wrong thing. It means nothing when you lose your salvation anyway. It's also why like prenup is like whatever. Like take your prenup, bro. It's not gonna get me to heaven. Like that money is not gonna take me to heaven. Like what? Society is so warped, man. Prenup, like, bro, I want to make it into the kingdom, not the bank. I think, yeah. So that's not pessimistic. It's just assessing. I don't even like the question if it's positivistic or not. You need some hot tea with honey. I don't have any honey, but I could burn some more tea. I have lemon in here. I should probably take a nap at some point as well when I'm done this chapter. I'll burn some water, some tea, then drink it, finish this chapter, and then take a nap. Yeah. Yeah. I have peppermint. Do I have another flavor? I think I have lemon. No, I gave all my lemon ginger to someone else that was sick. One of my other friends. That's okay. Oh, why am I still on presentation? Sorry. Sorry. Okay. But then it's not even positive either because, like, again, you're literally just saying what it is. You're literally just being like, okay, this is a problem. Like, it's not positive or negative to say that it's not going to fit all of its issues. It's just what God said. And we're watching that happen because we have a whoring nation. Like, and the fatherless, widow, and oppressed not getting help are the ones that go around destroying everything. So, like, this is literally what the Bible said is come to pass. And Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. So, he was the wisest man to ever live. So, now that we found love, what are we gonna do within? Hi, John. You said, I know someone who swears by black elderberry syrup. Daily says they never get sick anymore. Or daily says they never get sick anymore. I take now. I miss days though. I can't exactly send you several bottles, but if I could, see if it helps. What if I could see if it helps? I've seen on your channel being sick more than once or twice. Obviously, there are people who care. Just sharing info. Thanks, John. That's much appreciated, my friend. I will um oh, think about it. Such anyway, I'm so distracted. I'll look into it. For now, I'll drink tea. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get sick when you're. I don't usually. When I was back home, I didn't get sick this often. Since being here, I'm sick all the time. But again, I've been in fight or flight for so long, and maybe I just have a weakened immune system. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. But everyone is sick right now here. But since you've seen me being sick so many times before, I'm just telling you like before. Obviously, different circumstance, obviously, but whatever. Same thing. Sick is sick. I'll be fine. I'll live. It's just probably like a virus or something, and I'll get better. I'll try adding elderberry or something at some point. Look into it or something. It was a nice additive. Thank you. I've heard people talk about it as well. I was taking vitamins for a while, and they were pretty good. And then I got lazy and stopped because I don't like swallowing plastic. Whatever the casing is, like if it was just powder, if the vitamins were just powder, I would just take it and pour it in my drink and just drink it. And they're like, "Oh, well, you can take it out of the capsules." Well, why am I gonna take it out of the capsule like every morning? Like, why is that an extra step? I already don't want to take them. Like, to be fair, I already don't want to take it, and now I have to open the capsule. No. Sorry. Ugh. It's a little hot. Just a little. Not only did Isaiah say that they neglected the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed, they likewise made themselves friends to thieves and murderers and things in the like. So, yeah, they were taking deliberate steps. What in the world? Wow, apparently the Canadian national anthem was just sung in Punjabi at a hockey game. That's mad, I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy. Come on, why isn't this working? Wait. Come Multitude. Sorry. Hot. Oh, what are you guys doing today? I'm almost done. And then I'm probably going to take a nap. Okay. And wow, you know what? You know what? This is crazy, and I'll tell you why. To use Okay, so this is why. Okay, so how it was asking, like, asking if someone has hope or confidence, and if I'm having a positivistic view in that I have hope or confidence that society will find the solution to all of its problems, is asking me to make an error in judgment. It's the wrong question entirely, because you're asking me to use my feelings to determine the circumstances in what's creating outcomes and how those can be mitigated within society. And that's wrong, because society operates within its own realm, completely outside of my feelings, perspective, or emotions. It has nothing to do with that. It's operating already. And so for me to say that I'm positivistic or that I have hope that society would do this, you're asking me to put an idealism or an emotion behind a potential of what I want it to be. You're asking me, sorry, to make a monumental error in judgment, because I'm not now looking at the thing itself and the potential of what the thing itself can and will be. I'm looking at my perception of what I want it to be. So, what is sociology now? A perception of the emotionality of the mind or the desires of the heart? I think not. It's the circumstances in which society moves. Therefore, the question is wrong. There is no positivistic aspect to the question or not, because the fact exists as the fact, regardless of my positivistic or pessimistic um, ideals in relation to the problem or the fact itself. The fact is the fact, regardless of any changing object around or within it. Like, the fact remains the fact, and it will stay that way. And then how I view my perception of it doesn't matter. My perception, people never understand when I say this. I say to people all the time, my feelings don't matter. And they think that I'm saying I'm abused. No, my feelings and my perception does not matter. The perception of the thing itself matters. If I say that my perception is that this is a blue pen, okay, but this is very clearly a green and black mechanical pencil. That's funny because I was telling you guys the other day how I love green and black. Anyway, this is literally a green and black mechanical pencil. I can think that it's a blue pen all that I want. It will always functionally and structurally and literally be a green and black Bic 0.7 mm HB number 2 mechanical pencil. Okay? With a cute little eraser. The fact remains the fact, regardless if I have hope that this is a blue pen. That will not change the fact itself. This is what we're dealing with in this question. And this is why it's the wrong question. The question should be the question really should be, will society fix all of its major problems? Is there a possibility for society to fix all its major problems? Why or why not? Because will society fix its problems has nothing to do with my feelings. What is the circumstances that we are operating under? What is the current situation that we are dealing with in society? What is the potential outcomes of all of it? What are the varying degrees? It has nothing to do with emotions. Oh, I feel like maybe we no. What? I feel like it's a very feminine way to think. Was this book written by a man? Calvin Henry Easterling. Is this book itself a social experiment? To see. Yeah, feelings have nothing to do with this, man. Feelings have absolutely nothing to do with this. And then, and the fact as well is that all is vanity because, like, you can't, like, it is literally what it is. Like it literally is what it is. Like, your feelings isn't going to change the fact that this is just vanity. Is your feelings going to change the fact that all these people died the last couple of years? And the fact of the matter is that what we have seen in the Bible with Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, with the Israelites, Jerusalem being the whoring and backsliding nation, all the stuff that they were doing, they were not helping the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed. And on top of it, they were coordinating with murderers and thieves. They themselves were becoming murderers and thieves and, doing business with them and all sorts of things and delighting well in that. And then what are we seeing now? How many countless people were murdered the last couple of years, last 4 years, because people wanted money? The same vanity. Solomon said, nothing new under the sun, right? Because all is principle. As I said earlier, everything can be challenged against itself. Principles, values, ideologies, morals, ethics, addiction. Because people are predictable and they always fall back into what they're used to doing, whether it's principledly, positively principled or negatively principled. Humans are predictable. You can predict the behavior almost down to a T. You can time it even. You can expect when someone is going to crash out or when they're going to exacerbate their positive efforts based on what you've seen them do over a long stretch of time or even a short period of time, because it depends if they want the long-term investment ROI versus the immediate gratification, right? So this is the same thing that we're dealing with again. So are they going to deal with this? No. Why? Because God already said that we're not going to have all of these dealt with by the time he comes. Instead, we're supposed to be a light onto the world and go out into the world and preach the love and the gospel of Jesus Christ. And when we have done that in its entirety, then Christ will burst the eastern sky and he will come again. And also, if we do not carry out the work, he will send his angels to finish it. But then if that has to happen, we will have consequences that we don't want. Regardless, when I was in high school, I think there was 4 or 3 countries that hadn't been fully preached, showed the gospel. And that was like when I was in high school, this is more than 10 years ago. Now, I don't even know what the number is. It could be 2, it could be 1. But the fact of the matter is, it's not just the message verbally itself. It's actually people seeing the witness and experience of Christ. The actual love in the action. That gives them an experience and understanding. Like we spoke about earlier, through the experience of a father, you learn the experience of God and Christ, how to love and how to accept and trust, because the father is the first man that you learn to trust in your life, whereas you learn with the mother in the womb, naturally you have that bond and connection, right? So this is what we're still seeing today, the same problem today that they had before. So are they going to fix it? No, because they have not fixed it, and sin cannot be fixed because God himself is the one that's going to fix sin. Christ is going to come back in the second coming. We are going to have judgment day. The devil himself is going to have judgment day, and he is going to be no more. So they're asking a flawed question because they're asking if we pretty much are God, and we're not. We are out here meant to do the work in the details. God is doing the work on a bigger picture, on a bigger scale, as I guess the ultimate engineer, the ultimate strategist or general or tactician or whatever, grandmaster chess player, because he's making all of those web of connections while we go around, doing little detailed work, filling in blanks, doing checks and balances and stuff. So, the question assumes that we have the authority to do something that we don't, that we have the ability to change things in the way that God does, and we don't. We can implement, we can influence, we do not change. We take actions, because what it's actually talking about is a sin problem. And sin is a problem of the heart, and the Holy Spirit is the only one that convicts the heart, and God is the only one that changes the heart, right? That's what the Bible says. So we're actually asking something that we actually have no ability or control over. What we do have ability and control over is the love and kindness and compassion that we do, helping the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed. This keeps things at bay as much as possible, as stated by the Bible, because if these things are not kept at bay, these people go around doing chaos and mayhem, destruction in all the land. It actually says, fathers, don't prostitute your daughters, because it will literally cause chaos and whoredom in the land, among the land. Because those people will go out just ruthlessly destroying everyone and everything just because they can. Because they don't see a purpose anymore. There's no value, and it's like a hopeless existence, whatever. So we're looking at this from a completely wrong perspective to begin with. It's major problems will never go away, because the major problem is the heart. The problem of the heart will always exist, because addiction will always exist, and human error and human natural tendency will always exist without God. And because we have free will, and you can't force someone to accept Christ, and the only way to change is through Christ, and Christ changes the heart through the Holy Spirit, it means that no, you will not fix this problem, because that person has to use their free will to choose Christ, and through Christ accept the Holy Spirit and allow the Holy Spirit to convict them and change their heart, so that they might, through Christ, get closer to God and create that relationship where they can now take the necessary steps and actions to become the person that God has called them to be, which would ultimately separate them from sin and make the world a better place. So no. The answer is no. I'm going to add that. Kind can only... And again, that person who uses the free will to accept Christ into their life and through the Holy Spirit change the heart and the mind to get closer to God through Christ. Someone still has to do the work of helping the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed, to give that person the opportunity to then use the free will, see the benefit or the purpose or the value in using that free will to even go and do that. And people are not doing that. And so you see how each domino, everything is equal parts of the whole. And all the parts need to work together for something to actually move and work. It's a well-oiled machine, and if there's a failure in the machine, the whole thing is going to be off, regardless if it's like, you know, one screwdriver or what. It's going to make a noticeable difference. So, anyway, there we go. Okay, we out here. I'm so glad that I went through those, even though like I took like, oh, American Sign Language. I actually used to do this with my friends, like growing up, like on the bus and stuff. We would speak like secretly with American Sign Language. Five elements of culture are symbols, language, values, norms, and artifacts. Comment on the influence, impact of any two elements in your own culture. What about the culture of God? That is my culture. Christianity is my culture. And then explain Cooley's looking glass self concept in relation to your own experience. Well, they talk about do not photocopy these pages, as such an act would constitute a blatant violation of copyright laws under the United States. Oh, wow. Yikes. Okay, I'll do these later. I'll probably like take a little nap. I'll take a little nap and then finish later. And then I should probably do some math. Okay, guys, it's been real. It's been real. Wait, did this for some reason not function? How come I don't see all of that? Oh. What? Oh. Bro, sir. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Okay. Anyway, how come I don't? Shout out to all you people watching on X. You guys are so real. I wonder if I can see like the individualized here, like what the division of numbers are, or the divvy. I cannot. Kind of. Should I eat something? Should I... What the? Why? Why do people do this weird stuff? Oh, hey, Lord Gonzo. Enjoy your nap. Hope you ace your paper. Thanks. It's just a written thing that we do every time. I taught my dog some sign language. Stop, come down here. He's a Belgian Malinois. Cute, cute. Sandwich sounds like the move. Sandwich would be good actually right now. You know what? Yeah, I'm hungry. I should probably go eat something. I'm sick too, so I've been eating more food actually because I'm sick. Also because I've been feeling like nauseous, so like eating has been kind of helpful. Even though it's weird. Sometimes when you're nauseous, eating food actually helps. It's weird. I don't know if it's because like the acid in your stomach is weird, but I don't know. What is bro talking about? I have time. You know what? Low key. What? Okay. Wait. Yeah, guys, it's been real. It's been real. Thank you. But ouch. I'm like I'm tired. I'm sick. I'm hungry. I'm I'm dipping out. Thanks for like listening to me just talk through like my assignments. That's so funny. Um Hopefully I figure out actually I think I can do this like as well if I take this to if I take this to the computer lab and I I do SolidWorks while I'm doing this on the computer lab. It's gonna be so funny. I can do it though, but studying segments are informative. Yeah, Gonzo, it is low key, or AJ, it's low key informative because it kind of helps me. It's like nerdy ASMR. Yeah, you're right. I should start calling these like, I should literally, that's a really good idea. I should call these like nerdy ASMR segments. Literally, or like, yeah, nerdy ASMR. I love it. I'm actually gonna homework ASMR or something. Yeah, nerdy ASMR. I like that. And just like say the topics that I'm gonna be talking about, like engineering graphics or like um sociology or whatever and just go through my study. And I like that because actually going through it like this and talking about it like out loud is helpful to me because I've been having like a hard time like with comprehension for some reason. I don't know, I'm traumatized maybe, I don't know, but this is helpful even though like it makes me a little bit more tired, like it kind of like helps a little bit. Your take on sociology is refreshing because you challenge the norm. Thank you. You have to, man. You can't give like the basic answers. Everyone's probably going to answer the same. And I would hate like if I answered something the same, like it should be different. My perspective should be different from someone else. I don't like to be the same than someone else. If I like to be the same than you, then it's something else. But you know, reading out loud really bolsters comprehension. I think so too, because also as I read the Bible and the Great Controversy, and those things were actually coinciding with each other conveniently. And then my assignments of what I was reading, I was able to apply what I learned from both of those in my assignments. So it's like, that's actually really cool. Like I said this morning to you guys, like in my Bible study stream, that reading the Bible and the Great Controversy will open your mind to understanding new connections because it will apply to things and you'll see it apply to things as you come across them. And those connections will just naturally like fall into place. Ordinary people never change the world. It's good to be different. You're right, man. You're right. By the grace of God and my Father alone. My grace of God and my Father alone. All right. God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, your night, your day, whatever time it is for you guys. Yeah. Stay encouraged, stay blessed, my friends. And I'll see you later. Ciao.